Welcome to the Rob and KO podcast. Rob Sanders.
Clemson is going to kick the shit out of the South Carolina Gamecocks probably for the next 10 years every time they run across each other.
KO Carolina Jackpot Hall.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are weaker than a plate full of piss.
The Rob and KO podcasts.
Let's go. And welcome in.
I'm not ashamed no more.
Super Bowl edition. Yes.
I want to do the thing.
We're in the second quarter of the third quarter of the Super Bowl. Currently, the Philadelphia Eagles lead 24-21. My friend is in the upstate, the best damn YouTuber on the planet when it comes to the yard chickens at South Carolina. He is Mr. Carolina Jackpot. Jackpot, what's up, buddy?
How's everything going? I don't really know what the yard chickens are. I do know about
that's not a disrespectful thing. That's what they call the baseball team, the yard chickens.
Okay, it's about the big old cocks. Yeah, watching some Super Bowl. I told you I did a video about the Super Bowl today. Not the most important game in the world to me, but it is to some people. Apparently, they took a touchdown away from Kansas City. Looked like they had got a scoop and score touchdown, but apparently they nullified it, so it's still 24-21 in favor of the Eagles. So it looks like the refs might try to fuck the engines here. I don't know.
Jerome says, "Oh, we don't care. We don't care."
Oh, we don't care. We don't care.
I don't know how many people are going to tune in to watch this show tonight. Jackpot went to sleep on the last show. We try to remedy that. People were asking what happened to you.
Oh, Lord, let's hold that against somebody for as long as we can. That happened once, like a year ago, and then I did it again, you know.
So anyway, we'll take calls too. If you want to get into that, we'll do that in just a moment as soon as I boot up the phones here. Shout out to Brock, Thomas, Tilly, Jerome, Jerry, Edom Dogs, and D. Wayne. Or is it Dwayne? Some people say D. Wayne, Dwayne. I don't want to disrespect.
I believe that's Dwayne.
Dwayne. Okay. Thomas says your working video was really good. I haven't seen that video yet there, Jackpot.
Oh, yeah, that one dropped Thursday evening, I do believe. Yeah. So we went out and worked some chips at a couple of food lines, Dollar General and Spinks, and filmed it. So hopefully one of these days I'm going to get invested.
How did you do that? Did you just like tie a camera around your neck and just walk around or what?
No, I mean, I just recorded it with my phone. I didn't like record myself stocking or anything like that. I don't have a GoPro camera, but definitely thinking about investing in one and seeing what we can get done with that. Maybe you could see a little more action, but
might be a GoPro camera, and it is pretty cool with the stuff you can do with it. I've got the one where she bought me it has like the headband piece, so you can actually put it on your head and like walk around with it.
It was like 15 years ago.
Yeah, you wear it like a headband.
Yeah. One of my favorite YouTubers, Dame Drops, who does food reviews. He's a food critic from Connecticut, and he's a black dude. He has a GoPro that he I guess he wears it in the restaurants when he's actually like ordering and eating his meal. So that it's inconspicuous that he's filming it, and he calls it the incognito cam. But anyway, it's pretty good. Pretty good stuff. If you had it strapped to your head, I'm pretty sure everybody would know you're walking around with it.
That's kind of crazy. Anyway, so there's that. Yeah. I don't know where to go from here, Jackpot. That's funny. All right. 803-470-2905. Actually, we got to thank the sponsors, Callaway's Bar and Grill, which is packed to the gills right now with folks that are watching the Super Bowl. And, of course, you can become a part of that by going to Callaway's in West Columbia, Highway 1, diagonal from the Walmart. You can also go to Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. Go by and check check them out. All right. Let me bring up the phones here. Do that. Also, Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport, Fireside Chats with Uncle Jackpot. Jackpot, tell us a story, my friend.
All right, let's see what kind of garbage we got today. Sucks to be a Gamecock. Gamecock Athletics have a lot of nerve asking for crazy money to build up the ghetto on Bluff Road. Sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
You know, that was from
That
we were
was
supposed to be on Wednesday, but here's the thing with that. We could talk about that for a minute if you want. It's we're at the point now where it seems like every time the university comes up, it's just, hey, how much money can you give us to do things at the stadium down there? And the last renovation they did was, hey, let's just make all the what was it, the seats for the snooty people, let's get those going, and then it was, all right, now we need more money for other things. It's like, man, all they want is money on this thing, man. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it takes money to keep a facility going, keep it upgraded, and keep it, on par with everyone else. They put the nice lighting in, and they're doing some other stuff there. It's made some extensive renovations to the fairgrounds, and really make you wouldn't recognize the place from what it looked like. Just mere 10, 15 years ago. It's just absolutely outstanding what they've done down there.
Well, I have to agree with Jackpot. What compared to what it was before, where it was literally a shithole. I mean,
no, it wasn't.
Well, compared to what it is now, it was a shithole. What you have now, I mean, you walk around the stadium now, and I mean, it actually looks like a stadium, whereas before it was dirt and just bullshit.
Well, I mean, every old thing back in the day, everything was a shithole. I mean, compared to what the nice new stuff. I mean, the hell, the stadium the Braves played in the 1970s through the 90s, the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium was a shithole. If you put it up compared to what they play in now, but like then it wasn't a shithole because it was all that you knew. So back in the day when I used to go to the South Carolina games and you walked through the fairgrounds to get to the stadium, walk across it. No, it wasn't a shithole because it was all that we knew. It was the most beautiful place in the world. But now if you look back at it in 2023, you realize, yeah, it's pretty shitty compared to what we have now.
Well, there you go. That's all I was saying. So there's that. Anyway, we're taking calls now.
Tilly says, fix the field. It's an embarrassment to the SEC. They do that, it'll be not. I mean, what do you want them to do to it? I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry your team lost when they played there. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know. I mean, play better next time. They came up with every excuse in the world. They dumped sand on the field. We let the grass grow too tall so we could slow down the receivers. They did this, they did that, blah, 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 blah. Ain't nothing wrong with that stadium. Ain't nothing wrong with that field. Ain't nothing wrong with that grass.
Remember when they had like turf there for a bit? They had turf there for a bit.
Yeah, I had AstroTurf there for a while. It was ugly as fuck.
Yeah.
That Gamecock they had was, that thing looked sick.
That's true. All right. Well, we're checking calls this evening, 803-470-2905. Jackpot put out a video earlier saying he really didn't care about the Super Bowl. I don't care really about the Super Bowl either unless my team's playing in it. I don't get the whole adage of why everybody watches this game. And it's the highest rated game of the year. And I just don't get it. I mean, it's, and there's stuff that happens during the Super Bowl that you're like, holy shit. I mean, I could say something controversial on the program, right, Jackpot? I mean, my name is on the marquee, right?
And the floor is yours.
Well, I read today that they're spending, some group is spending $200 million to have Super Bowl ads talking about Jesus loved poor people and Jesus loved immigrants and Jesus loved this and Jesus loved that. Mm-hmm. How about taking that $200 million and feeding, I don't know, a shit ton of people instead of let's just, have a Super Bowl ad talking about Jesus? Don't you think that's what Jesus would want you to do? Just a thought.
Well, I mean, they are spreading the word of Jesus, and there can't ever be enough Jesus. So,
I'm not anti-Jesus. I'm just saying it's more Jesus-like to give $200 million to, I don't know, the Harvest Hope Food Bank and let them feed a shit ton of people.
You got a point, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Maybe someone, maybe they think that'll help bring people together or something. I don't know.
No. Okay.
That's a lot of money. Well, oof.
That is a shit ton of money.
They had a nice commercial on a while ago about some kind of dog food, some kind of farm raised, some kind of farm dog food and it showed a little girl getting the puppy and then it grows up with her. And then at the end, it's an old dog and it's sleeping in the bed with her and her little kids. Pretty cool.
I don't know. And I'm tired of, there's so much politics into it now. It's like, you see some of the stuff that's out there and you're like, why is this part of the Super Bowl? Why does the NFL have to bring this into it? And it's just like, oh, Jesus, really? I guess I have to, let's say that I cared about the game. Let's say that the Jets, Jackpot's team, were playing my Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl. That's a reach. I'm reaching really far. But let's say that happened. Jackpot and I would sit there and watch just a ton of this bullshit as our favorite teams were out there trying to play for the damn championship.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Eagles, Chiefs, 24-21. The Eagles have the ball on the 28-yard line of the Chiefs. Nick Bolton, by the way, should be the MVP of this entire thing. Not the Sooner quarterback that's out there that started for them. Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, Jackpot loves the Jets.
Oh yeah. They'll make it to the Super Bowl one of these days. I can see them being a wild card team next year. I can see that.
Well, the Jets asked if Aaron Rodgers was available today to the Packers, so you may get Aaron Rodgers for a season.
Well, I mean, there you go.
Yeah, why not?
Gamecock Chuck says the Gamecock showed LSU today they're not ready for the big stage. Yeah, outstanding win by the South Carolina Lady Gamecocks. Keep winning and winning. Just rolled over that team like they wasn't nothing. They were undefeated. I don't know. They were showing this one girl that plays for LSU that's one of the post players, and she was talking about how she played ball in the ghetto and not Brooklyn, Baltimore coming up, and how she was tough and blah 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 and all this crap. And yeah, I mean, she just got worked like a damn I don't know what. So
yeah,
hey,
here's my thing with that. It's like, do you think that there's ever going to? When's the next time they're going to lose a game? I mean, seriously, they're that fucking good. They're not going to lose a game anytime soon.
I don't know. Maybe Gino will be out for revenge. Maybe they'll play them in the national championship game. It'd be nice to stick it to him again.
How big is the gap between them and everybody else? They beat the number 3 team in the country by 24 points.
Yeah, the undefeated. Who's number 2? Who's number 2 in the country?
I don't know. Fucking shithole number 2. That's how they look compared to the Lady Gamecocks, which I guess if I called them the Lady Gamecocks, you're not going to like it, but they are outstanding. They really are. So, yeah. Aaron Rodgers is a clown. Yes, sir. He has not been right since he had sex with Danica Patrick. Just throwing that out there. He got with her and he ended up being stupid.
They're saying in the comment section it's Indiana is number 2 in the country.
Indiana.
I wonder if their girls basketball team, when they're wearing their warm-ups, I wonder if they wear those ugly ass peppermint stripe. I don't know if they still wear them or not. Those fucking peppermint stripe jumpsuits. You remember the pants that they wore?
Yeah, the guys still wear them.
Oh God.
Yeah, so South Carolina's number 1, Indiana's number 2, LSU is 3, UConn's 4, and then right on down. Let's see where Clemson's ranked. Oh, they're not. They're a shithole.
Were they did they even have a winning record?
I think they do. The Big Gooch says 2 fucking boomers. I hate politics. It's sports. Just fucking ignore it. Brother, I don't know what you're talking about. We were talking about the Gamecock women's basketball team. Is that Is that politics? I don't know. I call them the Lady Gamecocks. They don't like that, so that's what I was talking about there. I'm sorry that we have hurt your feelings, Mr.
Yeah,
Big.
thank you for the uppercase, lowercase, we're dumb shit. You know, if you don't like it here, I mean, you can hit the fucking back button. Nobody wants you here anyway.
Yeah, no, and no one gives a shit.
But
whether
we'll
you,
let you keep talking. I'm not like some podcasts where they'll mute you if you say something that they don't like about your team or whatnot.
So there's that. They have improved Dwayne, but they're not. I mean, I don't even know what their record is. I'll look it up, but they're like, I thought they were going to be better with Amanda Butler, but not so much. I mean, they're not very good. They lost by freaking 50 points to South Carolina. It was like 85-35. They legit lost by 50 fucking points to South Carolina this year.
Well, at least she's good looking.
So today they lost to Louisville, and now they're 14-13 on the season. So they are above 500 jackpot.
Okay.
Yeah. They're
Captain Tripp says any Tigers or Gamecocks in the Super Bowls. Chris Lamont still play for the Chiefs.
I think so. I know that. Let's see here. I know on the Clemson side you've got Justin Ross is on the Chiefs roster, and I can't remember. There's one other. Oh, and Cornell Powell is also on the Chiefs roster. As far as on the Eagles roster for the Clemson side, I can't remember who it was. I can pull it up for you in a second here. But I think that, if I remember correctly, it was on, let's see here, because I know I saw it on Twitter earlier, which it's funny to me. Like, everybody talks about, oh, this person played here and there. It's like, really? Okay. I don't think anybody gives a shit, but let's see here. Yeah, so you got Mario Goodrich and Kevon Wallace both play for the Eagles. Justin Ross and Cornell Powell for the Chiefs. So there's
I think it's good that Justin Ross made a pro roster after everything he went through.
I mean, his neck was shredded.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it was. He had a rough time of it there. And then that last year he was at Clemson, everybody's like, he don't look like the same receiver he was. I mean, god dang. I mean, fucking neck was about broke off. I mean, what do you expect?
Ultra Mega Dog says, do y'all think Alex Murdaugh is going to go down for murder? No, I don't. So I think my favorite part of that trial was his son was sitting in the front row and was giving one of the attorneys that represents Mallory Beach, which was the young lady that was killed by that drunk ass kid that decided to fly while he was drunk in a boat. They were giving, he was giving the guy the finger on the front row, and they had to move him to the back. This is down in Hampton County, which is a shithole. If you're from Hampton County, you probably left. I'm just saying. I don't think there's any justice in Hampton County. Sorry. So.
It's very rural.
Yeah, it's very rural and backwards. Call the show now, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. If you would like to join the program. Super Bowl is going on behind us. They got the lead singer of the Foo Fighters doing a commercial. Great. It's going to make me buy things.
There's just a commercial there with somebody putting some gravy on French fries.
Hot damn. Nature Boy says he did it, but do y'all think they will convict? No, I don't think so. I did watch the documentary they had on HBO about him, and it's like they made documentaries to be slanted one way or another, but the documentary basically said that the other brother was probably a young man that had issues with coming out of the closet type thing. I don't know.
I
You never
know
know.
I did.
Ah, shit. 27-21, the Eagles are leading the way. They just had a 7-minute and 45-second drive that ended with a 33-yard field goal, Jackpot.
Well, that can be effective, though. I mean, they, I don't know. Defensively, seem to be playing pretty well tonight, so we'll see if that holds up.
Yeah. Excuse me. All right, 803-470-2905. We'll take calls this evening. If you guys want to take calls, we could do that. We could talk about, I don't know, whatever the hell else is going there. There's our first call of the evening. Let's answer this call. Welcome to the program. Good evening.
Hey, what's going on, Rob? This is Breck Talk. I have a YouTube channel covering Georgia Tech with Sea Dog. Just want to call in and I see how you guys were doing.
Oh,
Great.
Well, it's actual Georgia Tech fans. Congratulations. I didn't know there were Georgia Tech fans.
So you're just going to talk shit right off the cut, huh? No pleasantries exchanged.
No,
I
I
respect that.
I have no problem with Georgia Tech fans. I just don't know very many of them. I can remember when Georgia Tech was a problem when they had like Joe Hamilton and he would run over Clemson for like 500 yards by himself. Yeah, I remember those days when Clemson couldn't beat those yellow jacket motherfuckers for nothing. So yeah, maybe I
you had
just
a problem with
little
Calvin Johnson as well.
Yeah, he kind of
we
broke a
had
foot
him.
off in our ass too. I mean, there was a point in time where
But,
Georgia Tech was beating the shit out of us for a consistent period of time. So maybe I'm a little antsy when it
Yeah,
comes
it's been
to
a
Tech.
minute.
It's been a minute, but I remember.
It's been a minute, though.
Joe Hamilton was the one
Yeah.
that I remember. He killed us. He had matchups with Woody Dantzler where both of them would come out with like 500 yards apiece, and the final score would be like 42-41 or some ridiculous thing like that. And it's like, what jackass?
Well,
missed
then
an
we
extra
followed
point?
it. We followed it up with Georgia Godsey, who also ended up being pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
No, I wanted to say props to Carolina Jackpot. Probably my favorite YouTuber right now, because Jackpot, you went on a rant against Georgia that I could only dream of articulating in the way you did, sir. It was beautiful.
Which one was that? Because there've been a few.
Where it was maybe when was it? You're talking about Kirby Smart's basically Dumb and Dumber Lloyd haircut and
yeah. I think that was during the bowl game that we lost. Yeah, I think I went off on that.
Right,
yeah, that was pretty good.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
T-Dog told me to watch it, and I had not heard of you before, and I was like, this guy knows the right thing to say.
Yeah. I try to be like civil, because like there's really not a lot that we can say right now. I mean, there's not a lot. You can't talk a lot of shit. What kind? Where's your talking point going to come from? I mean, we haven't beaten them in like 4 years, and then when we did, it was a huge upset. And before that, I mean, it was a long time. I think it was like 2014. So there's really not a lot that we can come to. So I have to kind of like pretend to, I guess, just be like, yes, master, you're the greatest world. But sometimes when I get a little bit, liquored up, and the truth comes out, and the juices start flowing. Yeah, I can really go off on them.
Well, what I do is I just do what a good politician does, and I don't answer the question asked. I answer the one I wish you would have asked. So I just reframe it and say I'm better at life. I'm better at life than you, which is most likely true if I'm talking to a Georgia fan.
Hey, can I ask you a question? You'll give me an honest answer, and I'm not trying to troll here, but it's just something that I don't understand. Why is it that Georgia Tech football has fallen off like it has? I mean, you've got tons of talent, in that state, I mean, you should be a team that's contending for the ACC title every year. It's not, I mean, you guys care about football there, right? Is it not an issue?
Well, when did you think it fell off? I guess when Collins took over, that's what you're talking about.
Well, I
Or
think
was
Collins
into
probably, after Johnson left. Look, the Johnson experience seemed to work for a little bit. I mean, the high point was beating the shit out of Mississippi State in the in whatever bowl that was.
Orange Bowl.
In the Orange Bowl, yeah.
In the Orange Bowl, they had Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
Prescott.
That was the first year we had the CFP, and Mississippi State was ranked number 1 in the country at the first poll, and they ended up losing to Georgia Tech in the Orange Bowl. But I think that maybe the Johnson experience wasn't exactly the best thing to happen, even though it was better to keep things level for a while. But I think Collins,
Rob, I think that's a nuanced point, and I've talked about this on my channel. So I think what Paul did, which he had a lot of success. He's one of the most successful coaches Tech has ever had, which I know a lot of people laugh at. But he showed the higher ups at Tech that he could do more with less. And what I mean is financial commitment and recruiting. And I think what that did is it showed the higher ups that, we don't need to donate as much money to have success and compete for the ACC.
Right.
Now, obviously, Collins came in, and Collins is a fantastic marketer, but he's a dog shit head coach. Like, he was running 3 different practices on 3 different fields. He never really did good on good. He's only concerned with like statistics and all this weird stuff.
And I get that.
So,
but
yeah.
I think that whoever you had in there, if they came in with a system that was different than what Johnson was running, they were going to have to just completely reboot anyway. I remember being at an ACC kickoff the first year that Collins was the head coach, and one of your wide receivers, I can't remember the young man's name. I got to interview him, and I asked him what was the big difference between Collins and Coach Johnson as far as the offensive stuff goes. And he was talking about, hey, there's an opportunity for me to actually catch the ball here instead of just running down the field and blocking. And he's just a kid, and he's just telling me what he thought. And I thought about it, and I followed that kid throughout the year. And he didn't have the best of years because the offense wasn't that good for them that year. But yeah, I think whoever reset button and get those guys, redo your offensive line, redo your receivers.
We gave them the benefit of the doubt for 2 years. Obviously, turning over a roster built for a triple option is going to take time. The problem was in year 3, when you're getting beat by NIU and you seem to be worse than you were in year 1. Like, there's zero improvement. And then you get beat 100-0 in your last 2 games by Notre Dame and Georgia that year, and say, if you don't see the improvement in this team, you don't want to see it. Now you're sitting on your own fan base.
I'm not saying that he is the guy of guys. Please don't get me on that. I'm just saying that if you were going away from Johnson, I mean, you gotta look at some of these guys and think, all right, maybe, I don't know, man. I get it.
He has some good ideas.
I just feel like Georgia Tech should be better than they are. That's not me ripping your program. I just expect more of them. Like, Duke shouldn't be better than Georgia Tech in football. They shouldn't.
100% agreed. Now, there's one thing that is really tough, and before I even started a channel, I argued with Lou about this, but every athlete has to take Calculus 1. The easiest major at Tech requires Calculus 1 or business calculus, and that's going to make recruiting more difficult. I don't know any other school that has that requirement, so they're never going to recruit like Georgia or Clemson. If they wanted to, they would have to make a program that caters more toward athletics. That's something Key kind of alluded to. Now, the thing with Key is I think he's kind of the best of both worlds, of like the old school hard nose, we got to go out and win and play tough. But he also recognizes what it takes to win in modern college football. He coached under Nick Saban for a while. I'm sure you're familiar with George O'Leary. played and coached under George O'Leary for 15 years. So, you know, I think we're in a good spot now, given the dumpster fire we have been in. I mean, what Key did as interim, I thought was impressive. I don't know about you, Rob, but
yeah, I
you know,
mean,
beat North
he
Carolina
did enough to get the job, so there's that. I don't know, and I mean, for some reason, I just remember Georgia Tech being so much better, and you know, they just go out there and they just play like. It's like, really? Come on, man. Shit.
Well, they were a lot more competitive with Georgia than the Gamecocks were this year.
That's true. I was at that game, and there was a lot of long-faced Georgia fans at halftime. Like, what the hell is going on? Is this a Twilight Zone? Like, because we not only have we been garbage, we were on our third and fourth string quarterback at that time.
Yeah.
Too. So that's why I think the Tech fan base is excited with Key and bringing in Buster Faulkner as OC, who came from Georgia, was their offensive assistant. Because if Buster can take, and I'm not shitting on Stetson Bennett, but if you can take what Stetson Bennett was with his skill set and turn him into the quarterback he was, what can you do with Haynes King and Zach Pyron at Georgia Tech, which I'm interviewing Zach Pyron next week. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, there's Tech's one of those programs that I think should be better, and they just got to get somebody in there that can, and maybe the academics are part of it. I don't know, but it's at the point now where it's
in recruiting it is
right.
Yeah,
well,
in recruiting it's 100%.
Hasn't it been that way forever that people had to take Calculus 1? I mean, Georgia Tech has had some guys that have gone on to be great players.
Yeah, for sure. Now, generally, we've taken 3 stars and made them into 5-star talent. I don't think we've ever signed a 5-star, actually. Calvin Johnson he was a 4-star when we recruited him. But so I know people don't want to just hear about Georgia Tech.
Sure.
I get that. So Clemson, you're a Clemson guy, Rob?
Absolutely. To the core.
Okay. So you've got to be excited about your new OC hire. I mean, that must be nice.
Well,
to take your pick of the litter for OC.
I like the move because the offense was the shits. Okay. And but I'm also in the camp of, I know it was the shits. There were plays that should have been made that just weren't made. They were scared to throw the ball down the field. Clemson's had issues at wide receiver since Justin Ross and those guys left. Haven't really had a good slot receiver since Renfro went to the NFL. And they had Higgins and those guys, and they went out there and did some stuff, but they haven't had somebody that, you know, you could throw the ball to on 3rd and 2 and they could make plays for you. A lot of Clemson drives stalled out in the 40s, the 40-yard line, you know, that window of field there instead of moving down the field. So, but here's the thing. A lot of Clemson folks are really excited about this guy, Riley, and they're talking about, oh, look what he did at TCU and look at what he did here and there. Yeah, I can appreciate that. But in the end, football is a very simple game. Can you block? Can you run? Can you pass? Can you tackle? The Clemson defense is going to be fine. I'm worried about the blocking because the offensive line has been and I'm not too sure on, you know, they love Klubnik to death, but Klubnik looked like he was a scared quarterback in the damn bowl game, just running her all over the damn place. Someone's got to teach him to stay in the pocket, find somebody to catch the football.
Well, I mean, I
10-2, just like
I happen to think the Clemson defense is going to be just fine. Mantra year after year after year, just because they've had some good defenses in the past, is a little bit overblown. I mean, Clemson's defense wasn't that great last year, and then you lost a lot of talent off said defense. I mean, so what makes you think it's going to be, you know, just fine? Maybe they have some problems.
Well, maybe they will, Jackpot. I don't know. Hey, I was looking up Georgia Tech's recruiting numbers. According to 247 Sports, Calvin Johnson was a 5-star player, according to their composite. The next one, all 4 stars: Hobie Holiday, Brandon Sumner, Derek Morgan, Jahmyr Gibbs, Morgan Burnett, Jonathan Dwyer, and Justin Thomas. So
there's Justin Thomas was a 5-star.
No,
he wasn't even a
no,
quarterback.
he was a
recruited.
4-star. All of them were 4 stars in the composite, but these are your all-time commits, 1 through 8.
Okay.
And he was the 8th
Okay, yeah.
best recruit according to 247 Sports. So there's that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we've had a few we've had a few decent players for sure. And our recruiting class this year is pretty doo-doo, but that was probably going to be the case no matter what, with not knowing who your head coach was going to be. But I mean, a lot of that is going to be solved by winning. You know, I mean, you got to put a product on the field that people want to come and play for, and going 3-9 for 3 straight years, you know, really hurt that. Now, we do have a lot of people on staff with deep-rooted Georgia recruiting ties that I think is going to help. And this is the first time I've ever seen Tech hire a bunch of analysts. Because like you look on Georgia's staff, I mean, they have what is Muschamp an analyst, or is he their co-DC?
No, he's a
offensive analyst.
He's a co-defensive coordinator.
Maybe your head coach needs to come out and do what Steve Spurrier did. There was a player at one point at South Carolina that had the academics to get in according to the NCAA, but apparently it wasn't good enough for the university. And Spurrier just came out and said, hey, if I'm a coach here, if guys can get in according to the NCAA, then they can play football here. You know what? Have a set of balls. That's what you have to do. Maybe that's what he needs to do.
But you'd have to have a program. For instance, like Trigg isn't offered at Tech. You'd have to take that at another school. We would have to create an entire program.
Right.
That doesn't require Cal 1. It's not like a standards thing, you know.
Yeah.
And that would take some time. You'd have to get that passed through the Georgia Board of Regents and whatnot. I was going to ask you something about Clemson. Oh, I'm going to the Clemson game this year. You going to be there, Rob?
It depends on what week it is.
It's late October.
I worked in radio for 18 years, covering the Gamecocks, and I don't know if I'm going to work. They hired me as an independent contractor for this year. I don't know if I'm going to be doing the same thing again this coming year or not. I don't know. They don't really tell you until a couple of weeks out. If I don't sign on to do that again, then I'll probably pick a Clemson game to go to. Is that at Tech or is it at Clemson?
Oh, it's at Death Valley. I'm going to 2 away games, so I'll go to that one, and I'm going to Oxford this year.
That sounds good.
But if you do go to the Clemson game, I'll buy you something to eat, and if you smoke cigars, I'll bring you a nice cigar.
Big Barney Ross sends me cigars, and I may share some of the cigars he gave me because it's some good stuff. But yeah, we can definitely do that, and I will extend myself to come on your program if you want me to do that when the football season gets here. I'm kind of jacked for Clemson baseball, and Tech's always really good too in that on the baseball.
It just started, right?
Yeah. I think Clemson was picked to finish 5th, but Tech could be picked to finish like 12th, and they'll still finish 4th. They're just
now. We have had some studs roll through the baseball program. In fact, Teixeira's on staff for us right now.
Yeah,
he was actually part of hiring Jay Bass. He's in
cool.
some administrative role. That's our AD, by the way.
Well, we'll work it out, man. That sounds good.
Awesome, man. And I got to see the South Carolina game. I did the last SEC game I went to that wasn't Tech was playing, and I actually went the last time South Carolina upset Georgia. I grew up near Athens, so a lot of my friends are Georgia fans. I went to that game just to see one, and damned if Georgia didn't drop an L to Muschamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He did a few good things.
Yeah, that was a hell of a game.
I don't understand why. I really don't. I don't understand why Nick Saban didn't come after him for the open defensive coordinator position and hired the much traveled and not very good Kevin Steele to run his defense. Just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
So why did they hire Miami? Did Miami have some dominant defense this year that I wasn't necessarily aware of?
They gave up like 100 points to Middle Tennessee State, so no.
So they went and got and I've been following this story a little bit. So they went and got Tulane's defensive coordinator, who was there for, I think, a week or 2 weeks. He was the offensive or defensive coordinator at Marshall, which was like a top 10 defense in the country. Went to Tulane for 2 weeks, said, screw it, I'm going to Miami. He goes to Miami, and Charlie Strong, a name Jackpot will remember, was the co-defensive coordinator there. And Charlie Strong basically told him, he told, Mario Cristobal's, you can hang your crystal balls, I'm leaving. And Charlie Strong just said, screw it, he's out. And that's what happened there. So
he wasn't the DC during the season?
He was the co-DC was Charlie Strong. And then Charlie Strong basically told him, yeah, if you're bringing this guy in, I got nothing. And this guy, I mean, I have serious, and I know that money is a big thing and all that, but this guy told the Tulane folks, yeah, I'm going to come here and be your DC. And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, nah, fuck y'all, I'm leaving. I mean, there's no loyalty anymore anywhere. And I understand that there's big money out there and, but the point is that, hell, if you're as good as you say you are, or as good as you're implying that you're going to be, especially if you led Marshall to where their defense was, and you take that jump at Tulane, go out there and rally that Tulane team. Someone's going to come pick you up eventually. Now you're just a fucking busted suit, in my opinion, heading down to Miami.
Well, I mean, is leaving Marshall I realize Tulane had a great season, one they'll probably never replicate again. Is that really that big of a promotion?
I guess so, Jackpot. You're right.
That's a lateral move.
Yeah, but Jackpot, I mean, he left and he promised. I mean, I guess maybe I'm just somebody that's big on, hey, you promised something,
I don't know.
So there's that.
It just seems like a perplexing move to me. By the way, Marshall's new DC is going to be Georgia Tech special teams coordinator Jason Seymour, it appears.
Yeah.
Which is also interesting. But anyways, guys, I won't take up too much of your time. I appreciate you taking my call. Jackpot, Rob, you are doing God's work. As far as I'm concerned, I appreciate it.
All right, man. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Super Bowl score 35-27. Chiefs lead the Eagles. Everybody was in love with the Eagles. Eagles have 3 points in the second half. Bum, bum, bum.
Yep. Yeah, they Chiefs almost ran a punt back. So
Pat Mahomes, by the way, out there playing with no ligaments in his ankle, it seems like. They gave him a shot of Toradol at the half, and he's out there throwing the ball around like nothing's happened. So there's that too. This guy just throws ropes, man. That's all he does. All right, 803-470-2905 if you'd like to join the program this evening, 803-470-2905. That is the number to dial if you would like to join us here on the Rob and Kale Show this evening. We appreciate y'all. I'm going to be honest. I told Jackpot, I don't know how many people are going to be watching the show tonight because I thought everybody would be watching the Super Bowl. Normally, we have a lot more folks that are in here, but Jackpot said, hey, everyone on my video said that he put out earlier that they weren't going to watch the Super Bowl. And, hey, more power to them, I guess.
That's right. They're not as interested in this as they are in college football. So, I mean, I didn't have one person comment and say, nah, you're an idiot. No, the NFL is still where it's at. So,
when do you think that and I know the Kaepernick thing pissed a lot of people off, Jackpot, but it seems like the NFL, the ratings say that they're great. Yeah. But in the end, I think this section of the country, there's just a lot of people that just don't give a shit. I mean, you can go and get a Panthers ticket for face value or less, just walking around the damn parking lot, during the regular season. Now, I know the Panthers are shitty sometimes, but it seems like a lot of people just don't give a shit about the NFL,
Yeah, well, I think it's much bigger in more urban areas in the Midwest and Northeast part of the United States than it is here. And those are very populated areas, so hence the popularity of it. I mean, you should have seen that video over on Twitter I saw today. They them turning a car over in Philadelphia today.
Yeah.
All that just to lose.
Andrew says, I've got to give Bryce Young his due, Rob. He's playing on par with Patrick. Bryce Young is not playing, sir, but okay. It's Jalen Hurts is playing.
Bryce Young, what?
It's what he wrote. I didn't write that. He said, look, I'll highlight the comments so everybody can see it. Andrew says, I got to give Bryce Young his due. Bryce Young is not playing in the Super Bowl, sir.
Lord. Never seen that mistake made before. That's a new one.
Comparing Bryce Young to Jalen Hurts. Well, Bryce Young's like, I mean, Hurts is like a big, tall quarterback. Young is not. He's a little shorter fella, which I'm not mocking that, but damn.
Yeah.
So Clemson Imperial says the NFL has excellent writers. Do you think the Super Bowl is rigged, Jackpot?
Nah, I don't reckon. I mean,
I don't know. We shall see. Jackpot, what else? Do you have anything else that we could talk about? Or I feel like we're just kind of floundering here.
no, don't have anything else for tonight. I mean, there's really not a lot going on in the college football world right now. I mean,
Wait a minute, Jackpot, we've got to give it up. The South Carolina men's basketball team won a fucking game this week, sir. They went down to Ole Piss and beat them.
They went on the road yesterday and won. Some teams don't do that, but South Carolina did.
They did. They went down there to Ole Piss and they won. It seems like, and it's a hot take here, but G.G. Jackson, man, he looks like he just doesn't give a shit anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's on the side.
Sure.
Yeah, he looks immature, like he's just pounding and some shit. I don't know where else to go with that. I mean, would you be shocked if he transferred?
Well, I mean, I thought the whole thing was he was going to be a one and done person anyway. So
yeah, he seems
I don't
like
know. I don't think he'll be around next year, but I mean, he's a really good player. I mean, if he wasn't there, I mean, there's no telling how many games they would have won. So
yeah, he seems like he doesn't care right now though. Jalen Hurts just goes in for a touchdown. Eagles need a 2-point conversion to tie this game up. But, yeah, I was sitting here and I was looking at this thing and I was like, wait a minute. The Gamecocks are playing pretty well down there. Not that Ole Miss is the best thing ever, but you split with Ole Miss. They won in Columbia. You won there. So,
yeah, I had a feeling yesterday before that game that they might be able to pull that one out just because – I don't know. They seem to play better on the road than they do at home, and that's just a fact. They do. I don't know why.
They won. Yeah, and Clemson goes up to North Carolina and got mouth pumped.
Got mouth pumped yesterday. They lost by like 20 points, didn't they?
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it was just so bad. The game was over before it started.
Yeah, that's bad.
Pretty bad. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know where to go. Like Clemson's at 10-4 and they're at the top of the ACC. But how fucked up is this basketball season where Clemson right now, when the new projections come out this week, are going to be projected to be out of the tournament?
Really?
Yeah, they were like an 11 seed in the latest. They lost that game, and they're probably going to be in the next projections as out of the tournament. And they're in the top 3 in the ACC in wins. They're 10-4 in ACC play.
Well, in the net rankings and stuff, I know they go by quadrant wins and all that stuff. I mean that loss to the Gamecocks has got to hurt.
Yeah, that really does. I'm looking up the net rankings really quick since we're here, Jackpot. Let's do this. We'll get out of here. Clemson currently number one team in the net rankings is Houston. Tennessee is 3. Vanderbilt, by the way, won their second straight game the other day. They beat Florida. And I'm looking. Kentucky lost, by the way, to Georgia yesterday. How the fuck does that happen?
The same way they lose to South Carolina, I guess.
Good point. I'm looking at, let's see here. Clemson currently, South Carolina is, let's see here. Let's see South Carolina first. South Carolina is currently 253rd in the net rankings. What? I'm just reading this. I'm reading the stats, sir. Don't get mad.
I'm laughing. I'm not getting mad.
Let's see here. Come on. Man, these net rankings are too damn long. Come on, net rankings.
Rob has SEC bias, says, Jackpot, did you work at the Ingles up here in Central over by that Hardee's? No, that wasn't in our district.
Clemson is currently number 77 in the rankings, which is, you got to be in the 40s to be thinking, hey, I'm going to get an at-large bid.
Yeah, because you got so many automatic bids.
Yeah. I mean, we got to have fucking Coastal in there. No, you know what I mean? All right, we'll see how that works out. Appreciate you guys spending some time with us today, and we'll be back at it on Wednesday. We appreciate y'all, and we'll talk to you later on.
Peace.